I'm not sure if you guys will think that I am weird, but I have tried to do a Kamehameha in real life multiple times and I have failed, sadly. But anyway, let's talk about Neuvillette and how does he compare to Child and Ayato. So if you didn't know, Neuvillette's entire kit is based on him charging up and doing a special beam cannon or a Kamehameha. And the good thing about it is that it's just a hold of a charge attack. You don't have to wait for any kind of cooldowns or anything. All you have to do is just Kamehameha. Can you imagine just being a hilly chill? Just chilling, you know? And this dude just comes out of nowhere, levitating in the sky, has an aura around him, with a freaking cane in his hand, and just charging up a key blast to your face. So that's what his entire playstyle is going to be like. Now, where does the skill come into it? Well, it's based on getting that key blast a lot more faster. By popping a skill, you will generate some type of water droplet that is similar to what the Hydro MC generates when he uses his E. It takes about 3 of that water droplet to have an instant key blast, and that's where his burst comes in. When you pop his burst, it will generate 6 of those water droplets. His elemental skill will generate 3. His burst will generate 6. So in a total, you could get around 3 instant Kamehamehas in a single rotation. And then from there, if you want, you could hold the charge button, but honestly, we're not going to play him like that. We are going to try our best to keep those water droplets on the field so we could just keep instantly doing that key blast. Now, I've been looking through a lot of comments of players leaving their thoughts about his potential damage or his theorycraft damage, and yes, I've seen a lot of sheets showing that he has great potential of delivering a lot of satisfying numbers, but you have to take into consideration that that is using him as a hypercarry. Majority, if not all, of the Hydro units that we have in our roster, they are used as a enabler and a Hydro applicator for vaporize or any other type of elemental reaction. The closest unit that we have to a kind of a Hypercarry Hydro DPS, if built that way and based on her signature weapon, Yelan is kind of a Hydro DPS. It's only when with her best in slot weapon, the Aqua Simulacra. But other than that, majority of the time we use her as a off-field Hydro enabler or a Hydro applicator, or just as a off-field sub DPS. And note why I mention Yelan other than Ayato or Child or even Sinsho is the fact that we have like nothing to buff her personal damage. She doesn't get any benefits if she is within a Bennett's burst, or is there any other form of buffs from any unit that I could think of right now that will buff her personal damage other than Swirl. Now I hope I'm not perceiving his kit wrong, because from what I'm seeing, it looks like he is purely scaled off HP, just like Yelan. So a character like Child and Ayato, they will benefit a lot from units like Yunjin, Bennett, or any unit that could provide some form of normal and charge attack boost. He doesn't scale with any attack, it looks like, and I hope I'm not wrong by stating this, but it looks like similar to Yelan, you will want to build him with HP. Now yes, his personal damage might be a lot better than Child and Ayato, but he will have a lot of downtime, even more than Child, if you're going to use him in a team with Zhanglin, Bennett, Kazuha, or some other form of vaporizing team. Now that could be a plus with him. He's not locked into the standard and you're always using Bennett, Zhanglin, Kazuha type of vaporized team. You know, that kind of national team that has been dominating Genshin Impact since I can't ever tell you a time that I've heard anyone said that that team wasn't relevant. So where his personal damage will exceed in that specific area, he will lack in the other area, and that is Hydro application. Now, one thing that is concerning is that Hydro characters like Child and Ayato, they are essential for national teams, so you don't really build around them. You build around the pyro units to get that vaporized damage off. But the thing with Neuvillette is that you're going to want to build a team around him. Now, I'm not saying that you can't use him in a national team. Obviously, we will be able to use him. But will he be better than the other options that we have? I don't think so. But that's good though. He's different. He's not just a generic copy. He's a completely new unit. He's a DPS. You build around him. You focus on buffing up his damage. You focus on funneling energy to him to have his burst up. He's a catalyst user, so you could apply Hydro to the enemy with a basic attack. You swirl. You use some other sort of sub DPS. And I think a lot of players will use Fischl, and I'll talk about that next. You trigger his passive. You pop on the field with him. And then Kaioken times 10. Now his passive, it triggers whenever a party member triggers a Vaporize, Frozen, Electrocharge, Bloom, Hydro Swirl, or a Hydro Crystallize reaction on opponents, and you will get 1 stack of it. You could get a max of 3 stacks. And what that will do, it will cause the charge attacks to deal a significant amount of more damage. So they are clearly trying to state that he's not just a Hydro enabler or a Hydro applicator. He's a whole DPS on his own. So in summary of what I'm trying to say is that he could kind of fill the role of Child and Ayato, but he's playing a whole different game. So I would say in showcases we will see a lot of big numbers from just him alone, but Genshin is a 4-unit team-based game. So where Child and Ayato will lack their off-field units like Zhanglin or even Beidou in a teaser team, it will enable the entire team to do similar amount of DPS that Neuvillette will do, maybe by himself. I'm not gonna say that he will do the same amount of damage that a national team will do, but if they're making a unit that's going to be a hypercarry, he better be dishing out a lot of damage. And seeing how Yelan dishes out a ton of damage, I'm going to put some money on his head and say that he's going to be a very strong DPS. Hydro Archon is right around the corner, and we are getting a lot of units that have some form of HP gain, HP drain, or scaling of HP. I wouldn't doubt if she has something built into her kit that will benefit them for the future. However, first has to be very careful with this HP buff if the Hydro Archon has anything like that, because they could potentially buff Hu Tao and Yelan to a whole different level. But yeah, that's my thoughts about Neuvillette. I know I kind of went back and forth with different things, but I'm trying to make my own comparison. I'm not trying to just look at it as what we're seeing on paper here, but it's just my thoughts about him. We will see on the day that he is released. Anyway, leave it thoughts on below what you think about Neuvillette. Hit a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Stars shining really, moon visions in my sight, landing nowhere within sight. Had to take her with me, she was tasty to my sights.